Hello, my name is Jefferson Aldridge. You're here with Giving is Good. Today we have Ronnie Gonzales from FHL Ministries and RG Ministries. So, Ronnie is kind of a special person. He has his iron in a lot of different fires. He is a world, national, international evangelist. Plus, he has a local community called Faith, Hope, and Love,
Faith, Hope, and
FHL.
Love. Yeah, make
right?
it easy, FHL.
Yeah. And with that, he is basically doing all kinds of community outreaches, feeding the homeless, doing big events. And what we want to do today is just give you a sense of where he's been, how he got started, where he's going, kind of talk about how you can get involved with FHL here on a local basis. And if you would like to come and volunteer with
Sure.
Ronnie, they've got a lot of opportunity and just kind of reaching out to the local community. And he's going to tell us about some of the communities that y'all work with, whether it be the Fort Worth community, the Burleson community. I'd love for everybody to hear some of the events you're doing, just because those events will carry through time-wise, as far as like you could do Christmas in Como this year, but next year it may be Christmas in downtown Fort Worth, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just how you guys are doing, what you're doing, you know, that way we can kind of, you know, everybody can see where you guys are headed.
Sure.
And if they want to plug in, learn more about you, they can visit your website, and we'll have all those links in under his videos so you can see his interview, and we'll go from there. So, Ronnie.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Tell us how you got started, man.
Well, like I was telling you earlier, first off, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You know, I went to Bible school in 96 and graduated in 98 from Kenneth Hagin Ministries there in Tulsa. And all I wanted to do when I got out was I just wanted to do evangelism. I just have a heart to reach people, you know, and that heart has really, you know, you follow God, you don't know what's going to happen. You ever found yourself here before where you just don't know
You have no idea.
what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You just know you got a heart to help. You just don't know who's open to it or who wants it, you know? So I first started when I got out of Bible school in 98. I first started when this is when no one would have you in to preach and no one knew of your name or whatever. I went to nursing homes and I went to homeless. I went to the streets because I figured, well, they're not going anywhere anyways, you
And
know.
they'll listen.
And I got a captive audience, you know. These nursing home people, they're thrilled to have anybody come and just, you know, spend some time with them. And the homeless, of course, you know, it's just like, you know, they're open. And so I just literally started just by going and visiting, and then it became a thing where we would preach, you know, to have different services in the nursing homes and then on the streets and what have you. And then gradually, of course, we just started getting more involved in churches. And you know, one thing that really has always been an emphasis in our ministry is reaching the lost overseas. So we would do missions crusades where we're just going our first ones were in the Philippines, then into different countries in Africa, Haiti, India. India is probably just the wildest crusades we've ever had.
How many people tell people about what that's like when it comes to people? Because people, when they think of crusades, some people only think of Billy Graham crusades, you know?
Yeah.
I'm a huge Billy Graham fan.
Oh, sure.
So, you know, how many people come to a crusade when you show up in Africa?
Well, typically, I mean, it just depends on where we're going because we don't go to the big cities. Okay. We don't go to the capital cities. We've always been rural people, and that's what scares people is from coming along with us is because we actually go to places where there is no Wi-Fi connection, if you could believe that. No running water. You know, one of our first crusades in the Philippines, there wasn't even any walls, bro. I mean, there was, you know, We were a deserted island. If you ever seen like Survivor or Lost or whatever, think Castaway, deserted islands here where there's no walls and you go to sleep at night and there's things, crawling and stuff like that all around it. And so to just be able, though, that was my first time of doing any kind of crusade. And when we went to the village and we gave a call to, how many of y'all, this is the first time y'all have ever heard the gospel message? You have a whole village of maybe, that first one was maybe 700 people. They all raised their hands. No one's ever come and gave them a message. We think in this age with internet and technology and Wi-Fi and satellites and everything, that everyone has had an opportunity to hear the gospel. And there's a lot of places still in the world where they don't have that opportunity. They don't have that witness. And so that was our first overseas trip. And that just kind of set the course for everything that comes after that, whether it's in Africa or India. It's always going to be in the rural areas there where they just don't have a big of a gospel witness there available.
Are you still focusing on doing some of those annually?
Oh, yeah. So, and just this last month there, we were in India for our 8th or 9th gospel crusade. So you asked how many people typically come, and that can range from, we'll have 15,000 in one night. We've had them all the way to like close to 55,000 in one night. And over the course of a crusade, you see several thousands, by the thousands coming. And, it's India, for instance, it's Hindu. It's a Hindu nation. Yeah. So to have the platform in a Hindu nation and tell about our God is a one living God, and that he loves you, and that, he sent his son Jesus to die on a cross for you, and to hear how many of you would like to accept this person into your heart, and to see these hands come up, and how many of you, we always ask, how many of you, this is the first time you ever heard the story, to see a whole colorful field, because India is very colorful. Very spicy too, if you've ever had Indian food before. To see a whole colorful field of beautiful men and women and children raising their hands and giving their hearts to the Lord, it's just the most amazing thing, man. And that's what just keeps it going. So we'll do, typically my goal is once a quarter. We finished there in India. This next one's going to be in Nigeria in January. February is going to be in Ethiopia. I'm working right now on getting our first crusade in Pakistan on the calendar here, so that hopefully they want us in March, but I don't think I can make it in March. But Pakistan is going to be this next year as well, and that's going to be my first, and I'm looking forward to that one. So
how would somebody? There may be some people that are interested in learning about how to go overseas and do mission work and to do evangelism. How would they come along and get involved? What kind of skill set and people do you need to help you do what you do?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes people don't have the same concept of missions work as I do. And that sounds kind of snobby, doesn't it? But what I do,
everybody's different.
Everybody's different. There are some people.
Way of doing it.
In missions work is going and painting houses and doing plumbing and building things or whatever. I would do more harm than good, bro. Going over there and giving me saws and hammers and things like that. That's not me, When I go, I come and I'm just doing gospel ministry work. Mm-hmm. Well, if there is pastors there already, if there's ministers that we already set up, in the daytime, I'm gonna have special seminars with them on leadership seminars and how to do certain things, and just pour into the nationals.
Discipleship?
Yes, discipleship, because
teaching. I
want them to continue the work after the evangelist goes, after the American goes. The real success is what if it continues after I go. So we take the time on purpose to train them, disciple them, fire them up to reach their regions for Jesus. And at nighttime, it's always we'll have just full blown gospel crusades, whether it's in the village, whether it's in the streets or whatever. We'll just find a place there. So there's really not much for somebody to just come along that does not preach as well with me. Mm-hmm. But I need my help I mean, we got to have prayer. I mean, more than anything,
Yeah.
prayer is what guides and undergirds everything that we do. And then we have people that will support us with monthly contributions, because these crusade budgets, India, for instance, that's very easily from 40 to 50,000 plus.
Wow.
Per crusade. And then Ethiopia, our next one there, has a starting at 25,000, so
You have to pay for the venue, and I mean, is it
India, for
like if you were going to put on something here, you would have to go and rent out a small stadium or something, right?
Yeah. India, for
Schools.
instance, the majority of the budget is to rent taxis, buses, tractors, vans to pull people to the actual crusade grounds.
Wow.
Yes, it's because I'm not talking
Logistics.
Stadium. I'm not talking.
Logistics.
Yeah, it's getting people there because we are out there. I told you we're a rural area, so it's paying for those fuel costs, which are extremely high. It's paying for these tractors, these farmers to bring these people here to the central ground, and so that's where the majority goes to.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I had no idea. I've never put on an evangelistic ministry conference / event.
Yeah,
Crusade.
It's different. It's not a lot of. It's not something that a lot of people know, how to do or whatever. But that's why I said it's not something that I can just bring people along and here you guys can do stuff there. What I do need volunteers with, and this is segueing into our FHL part, is because I was doing the RGM Ministries and the RGM Crusades, which stands for Ronnie Gonzales Ministries, and we continue to do that. But in 2013, I just felt that the Lord was saying, well, you have a mission field here in your hometown as well, and you need to be reaching those people as well. And so we started branching off, and we started a ministry called Faith, Hope, and Love Outreach. And first thing we did was we secured an 18-foot box truck, and we fixed it here to where the stage comes down, and so we can take now. We got a mobile truck to where we take into apartments, we'll take into city events, we'll take to the streets. I mean, we'll just take that anywhere, and we can have automatic church. We can have an outreach there.
Open the patio door of the truck, and stage is there.
Put your speakers out, your sound system, and we'll just be throwing stuff. It depends on what it is. I mean, we'll throw candy if we're doing a children's event. We'll throw, whatever we're doing. We can do that from the truck there. And then, of course, we're tying in the gospel. We're preaching Jesus. And that's the great thing with those, is that we can just pack up and leave and go somewhere else there pretty quickly there.
So locally, people can get involved with that. I'm assuming you need people to come and help with crowds, with passing stuff out.
Yes.
Do y'all do any type of a food? Do you have a food part of that whenever you're doing those events?
Yeah, so one thing that we, as of this February, will be our 4th year of doing Faith, Hope, and Love church services in Unity Park, which is off of East Lancaster Avenue. That is kind of the hub of the homeless community right there. Yep. So we go once a month, first Sunday of every month. So somebody, if they don't know anything about what we're going to do or where we're going to be, you can just put it down. First Sunday of every month, we're going to be in Unity Park, and we're going to have church. It's not just coming and bringing socks and bringing coats and stuff like that. We'll do that, and we have that, but that all comes after the church service. We partner with another ministry called Community Meals, and they will cook up at least 300 to 350 lunches right there. They'll bring them there and serve immediately after church. So we have it down where we're having full church services, and then afterwards we're handing out whatever other ministries would like to come and bring too, whatever other partners would like to bring.
Other people besides food.
Yeah. They will come and bring coats. They'll come and bring hygiene kits. They'll come, we'll have families that just take it upon themselves and say, here, I just want to come and bring beanies or bring coats, whatever it is, blankets. And we'll let them, here, go ahead. Everything after church.
Yeah.
and then we'll serve lunches as well.
You're spreading the message first.
Yes.
And then you're taking care of people, meeting their needs at whatever their needs level are that you can help them with the resources that are coming to you.
Yeah, we want to feed them spiritually first, because it's no good to just come, I feel. It's no good to just...
Because you're an evangelist, right?
I'm always going to come back to that, where we got to plant the seed of the Word of God. I don't want to just give you, a meal without, also giving you something that, you get the meal, it'll nourish you for a little bit. But if we can get you plugged into Jesus, if we can get the Word of God in you, that's a seed that just is not going to go away. That meal, the energy from it, that'll go away. But that seed will make lasting change, and that's what we're about, is we want to make lasting change. So
cool. Let's talk a little bit about the events that you guys do on an annual basis. I know your calendar's kind of full. Yeah. So
well, this is the
tell
time.
Tell us about some of these events. Christmas in Como is the one, just because it's getting close to Christmas time, so that was easy. But just kind of fill everybody in on some of the stuff y'all do.
So like last night, we were with Fort Worth PD in off East Lancaster, and there's a group that's called Project Success that they've started. Now this group, and it's a handful of teens made up of like 10 to 15 teens that all reside at area shelters there. They're all homeless teens. Wow. Fort Worth PD has made this group up, and we've been helping them for 5 years now, where on Tuesdays they bring them in and they help them to create art projects that will be sold at Main Street Arts Festival, Arts Goggles, all these different art shows, so that these teens can make money for themselves. So they're constantly making these projects, and then they're selling them so that they can make their own money. And so when we go, they love us. I mean, we'll have our crafts. We'll bring in. We'll have food. We'll serve food. We'll do some games or whatever, and then we'll also have a Bible lesson and pray for people. But last night, so we had it was more of a Christmas party. In all honesty, it was very more of a festive atmosphere. When we just had Vandergriff Chevrolet and Vandergriff Hyundai that wanted to come in and partner with us and bring. I mean, they brought like $500-600 worth of gift cards, and everybody was getting new shoes, and they brought all of these toys and skateboards, karaoke machines. I mean, they brought all of these things there so that these teens, after we started playing games or whatever, they come and they're loading themselves. They literally brought bags so that they can just go through the tables, and they're picking clothes, or they're picking something fun, and then they're picking up gift cards, and we just loaded them down and blessed them there. So
they had a mini Christmas. Yeah.
That's awesome. Christmas that's, not going to be, me and you are going to have some, what we would call normal Christmases here. Well, when you're in the shelter, it's not a normal Christmas, Right. And so we have another event with them similar that's going to be next Thursday, and it's going to be in the shelter. This is going to be our 4th year of doing this.
Do y'all partner with a specific shelter when you do that?
This one is the Morris Foundation Women and Children's Shelter. So there's about 45 mamas that live there, and anywhere from 85 to 100 children. These children range from babies, toddlers, infants, and the fewest is teens, but most of them are babies and toddlers. Yeah. And there's anywhere, like I said, from 85 to 100 that reside there. Yeah. And so when we come, there's a time to be full-blown evangelism, preaching, and having a full sermon. The whole goal of this is just to bring Christmas. I just want to have fun. I want we'll come and bring cookies for them to decorate on one side.
Bring some happiness.
Yeah.
Some physical happiness.
I bring somebody to bring music, and so we can do some sing-alongs. They'll do some crafts. And we get so many people that donate wrapped presents, and that's something that anybody can help us with, if they want to donate wrapped presents. So that all of these families will leave with garbage bags filled with wrapped presents, so that they can go back to their room with their kids, and and it's according to how many, they'll fill out a form, how many are in their family, what are their ages. So all of these gifts would be specifically something that they could all use, including the mothers there.
Wow.
So that's next Thursday. I told you about last night. This Saturday is Christmas in Como, where we're just going to take the truck out. We're going to partner with other ministries. We selected the Como Community Center, so we'll be in the parking lot there. And, it's an area where there's a lot of need. We've been going there, sending out invitations, and we have other partners with us that regularly target that area because it's a very needy area. So we're just going to come and we're going to make everything free. We're going to have it Christmas themed to where we're running games. We're bringing some inflatables out there. We'll have our music, do different fun stuff. And then always the true meaning of Christmas. We're going to give everybody the opportunity to hear what it really is all about. Give away over $1,000 worth of got Xboxes, TVs, you name it.
Once again, you could use more things to give away.
Sure,
right?
Sure. We always can use. To me, I'll be honest with you, that's bait. When you're going fishing, you got to have the right bait.
Sure.
Some as attractive as I am, Jefferson, people aren't just going to come because I put my face on the poster and say,
sure?
I tried it once. It just doesn't work. So you put on there though that you're giving away bill pays, you're doing free Xbox, you're doing hundreds of dollars of gift cards. Oh, that's bait. And so of course. Our ministry is going to pay for that, but we also, when we have different businesses that come along and say, here, I want to help you with this or that, well, that helps us.
Gotcha.
So it's free to them, but, it does cost somebody something.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So.
Give us an idea about, we're talking a lot about the Christmas season just because we're in the Christmas season, but what do you guys do during the summer? Let's give kind of just a few thoughts about how FHL what they do kind of during the rest of the year. And then from there, what I want to do is I want to make sure everybody has kind of a round picture of how you guys do what you do. And that way we have a good idea of what else y'all do so that other people can go, hey, I'd like to do that, come get through the spring. Maybe they have a busy season, and et cetera.
Well, first off, everything that we do is put on our Facebook page because we tried putting everything on our website, but that doesn't get updated as fast as Facebook. I mean, that's just like that. Yeah. So they can always follow us on facebook.com/FHL Outreach, and we'll put on there all the time what we're doing.
Say it slower. Say it one more time slowly.
FHL for Faith, Hope, and Love Outreach there. We'll put everything out there, whether we're, going to be out there on East Lancaster Avenue or whether we have an apartment outreach, because last month we were in a special apartment in Haltom City, doing a Thanksgiving outreach, and a week before that we were in Sansom Park, and they have a monthly Tarrant County Food Bank in Sansom Park, where we're a part of and come and we just bless people there. So we put on there whether we're going to be Sansom Park, Haltom City, Burleson, East Lancaster. We put our calendar on there. So if anybody wants to follow us, we make it pretty easy to just get on there. But typically throughout the year, it's always going to be, we're always going to have one or two homeless services a month, homeless outreaches. So you'll find us in East Lancaster Avenue. That's kind of where we are known now. I don't believe in just coming and showing up. I want to make relationships, and so it's the coolest thing to have people on the streets that when you come, they know who you are now. We built relationships, I mean, and everybody's got a story. Sometimes in some of the volunteers that have come, it's really changed their perception of the homeless people, because, at one point, some of them will be honest with me and say, hey, Ronnie, I really just kind of thought, they were all taking us for money or whatever and using you for this or that or whatever. And the more you get to know some people, you see that everybody has a story. All of these people, a lot of them, just like me, you and me, man. I mean, but yet something happened to them that was unexpected, and they found themselves without medical insurance. Couldn't pay for something. It caused them to lose their job, and having those two things caused them to have a strain on their relationship. So just like that, they're divorced, they're unhealthy. They couldn't get this, and they're broke, and they find themselves on the streets. no one sets out to be there, but circumstances bring them
Life
there.
happens so quick for some people, and when they don't have family and friends and money sitting in savings account, like most of us are very blessed to have,
Absolutely.
all of a sudden you have families that just wind up on the street. It is.
It can happen to
Yeah,
anybody.
I've seen it in the mortgage business happen. I mean, it is amazing how fast people's world can go upside down.
All it takes is one major accident that you weren't planning for, and you know what the high cost of healthcare.
Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't have the insurance to cover it, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You
If you got $25,000 in the bank and it costs $25,000 for the surgery for your child, and you don't have friends or family after backup after you spend your you're going to spend your $25,000 to save your kids.
You're done. You're wiped
and you're
out.
done. And if you lose your job anywhere in there because you're taking care of your kids, it's crazy when you start to dive into some of these people's stories.
Absolutely.
Really what they're going
And
through.
everybody has a story, and that's the thing that we like to take the time when we go and visit with people and establish relationships, because they all have stories.
Yeah.
And I tell our volunteers there that you need to know that this could be you.
Yeah.
It could very well be you.
That's reality.
It is reality. Yeah. If you found yourself coming across an unexpected divorce, health incident, an accident, nobody plans to get in a car crash. But yet they get in the car crash and they don't have a way to pay for, things, or they got sued or whatever and don't have money or whatever. It happens. And so there's a lot of good people out there. So this is why every month we will still, consistently, we're going to be out there and have at least one or two special homeless services. But we'll take our truck, and like I said, that's the great thing about having the truck, is then we'll go into an apartment complex, that we just adopt, and we're gonna preach the good news, but we're gonna bait them with free, bill pay, or we're going to give away some gift cards.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving out toys. We're doing whatever. We call them good news fests whenever we go into apartments.
And you're
or
still
cities.
helping people.
Yeah.
It's hard for people sometimes to hear the word bait. You're bringing people in to tell them about Jesus,
Sure.
but you're still helping them regardless. Whether you're feeding them or giving them Christmas presents for their kids,
Yeah.
but you are bringing them in for a very specific reason.
I started out as the guy on the street corner, just with
bullhorn?
passion. I never had the bullhorn. I had a loud enough voice to where I just with my passion and just with my Bible. And so I've been that guy, and so as the years progress, you're kind of like, well, you got your message right. Maybe if you can get a little bit
Tactfully.
nicer, get a little tactful, and do things a little bit differently here. And so, if you have some things that actually, how can you bless them? For instance, with the feeding, like I said, we want to feed people.
Yeah.
We're pro clothing and pro feeding and all these other things, but I just don't want that to be the main thing. I want to combine it with the gospel and with the word of God. Yeah.
God's got you on a specific mission. You're an evangelist.
So
I got you.
It's all going to center around that for me. But you combine it with other ways and other avenues. If we're going into a neighborhood like Como, like we just said, I'm not just going to come on the street corner and just with my bullhorn now. I'm going to come with things to bless you all with, but I am going to combine it with the gospel as well. So
I think probably the best way, and I'm going to kind of surmise this, just for people. I think if somebody had a heart and they were passionate about evangelism,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to be involved, whether it's giving money, giving their time, and they want to be involved internationally, know that they are doing what they want to do with their money, or if they want to get involved locally in evangelism, Ronnie Gonzales is doing it. You're out there. You've been doing it for years.
we've also this past year started these workshops here. We call them evangelism training workshops. We've had a healing school workshop. We're just putting it out there. If you want to come and just take, it's Friday night and Saturday morning. You want to just take a few hours to learn how to do some things, get some more in-depth teaching, then here, sign up for one of our workshops. Because I've realized, that this is not something that everybody knows how to do, and maybe is a little bit scared. The greatest thing that happens with our volunteers they see me and they think, Ronnie, we can never do that. We're not preachers. We're not ministers. I don't know how you do certain things. I tell people here, can you hand out a sandwich? Can you smile when you do it? Can you
It's
give
evangelism.
a toy? Yeah.
If you do it right, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's breaking down a wall, so where I can have a conversation with somebody. I may do it on a platform to where I have a little bit more people, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to one-on-one. I'm
Sure.
trying to get to somebody's heart, and sometimes I get there via the conduit of a sandwich or a toy or
Sure.
or a smile or whatever. If you can do those things, you can evangelize. You can
Right.
minister to somebody.
Yeah.
So it's
I completely get that, you know, and I think there's a lot of people that are truly scared of that.
Sure.
They might feel called to do it. They just don't know where to start.
well, people only know this door knocking evangelism, and that frightens people.
Sure.
Because people, automatically.
It's a digital age.
Yeah.
Door knocking is like,
If they
it's
grew
not
up in
safe.
church,
door knocking is not safe anymore.
if they grew up in church, this was their idea of evangelism. We're going to go out and witnessing. So that means we're going to knock on doors. You're going to get people. If they answer their doors, they're going to be mad that you interrupted their Saturday morning cartoons, and they're fixing their meals or whatever. So they already have this bad idea of what witnessing is and
evangelism.
you can do evangelism a myriad of different ways.
Yeah.
It's not
good
just
news events.
Yeah,
right? Fun, blessing other families, blessing people, being on the streets, boots on the ground. I mean, that's just a different world, and that's hard for a lot of people to understand that they can be involved doing real evangelism.
Yeah.
With RG Ministries doing that kind of action.
This is a different way. I still believe in that way.
Sure.
And actually, our church once a month they'll send out, and we're part of it when we have the opportunity to go. They're going door to door and inviting people, and I still believe in that. But as far as ours, we do it a little bit differently, and but it's in a way here that I want our volunteers to feel comfortable, and gradually, little by little, maybe they started off with just being the guy on the food line, and handing somebody a sandwich or a lunch or whatever. Gradually, you start seeing them. They come and be consistent in their volunteering. They're starting to talk to people. They're starting to minister. They're starting to pray for people.
Getting comfortable.
Yeah. And so it's like with anything, with you consistent in doing it, the more confident you get at it, and
practice.
You got to practice at it, So yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you coming. I
Yeah.
know you're a busy guy. You do a lot of cool stuff. I feel blessed just to have you, just to know that you're out there doing what the Bible tells us we're supposed to do.
We're not off the hook.
No, we're supposed to be a light unto the world.
Yeah.
Part of that is evangelism.
Yeah.
And that is what we're supposed to do as Christians. So I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. We're going to have a link to his Facebook, and we'll have a link to his website. You can go directly get involved with Ronnie. I've had the privilege of speaking to him for a while before we came into the studio. He's got awesome stories, a lot of fun to talk to. If you truly have a desire to get involved with evangelism, or if that's where you want to donate and spend time and money,
Thank you so much.
A great place to be.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time.
Enjoyed it, man.
God bless.
Thank you.